Annemie?
Congratulations, Rassie. Rassie, can you give us an injury update?
I can give you a red and a yellow card update. There are not so many injuries. The only head injury assessments we had was called by the French, by the Italian match doctor on Gerard, where there was a head clash between their prop and our prop, and they called him off the field and he passed that. But then we had on Kirkley HIA, which they didn't call. So we'll see if he passed that. Apart from that, we don't have other injuries apart from the red card, which we got again.
Rassie, I'm wondering if we can sort of have your take on the red card, and also now that you've had 2 locks sent off in 2 weeks, if there's any thoughts of who you might have to call up to the squad?
Well, it is what it is. What I'd say here can't make a difference. I'm just very grateful that we had Ben O'Keefe on the 1AR side and the referee's experience, of course. Obviously we've got the referee mic on, and all the noise that was coming from there was difficult just to follow the match. So we later just put off the speaker, and I'm not saying this in any negative way. It was just a very busy and a lot of calls made from there. What I can say, it's sad that our captain in his 100th game and in his next game had to sacrifice, I always thought we want to get to 20-minute red cards and have a recheck on that. I thought that's the way to go. It's not my place to talk about it. Also, a captain like him to twice in a week have to suffer for us to win because a call, I'm not saying the referee made the wrong call, but I definitely saw a lot of other shots in the game. That was the first tackle he took was right against the head. So it's tough. I'm not saying anybody was wrong. I just thought the balance on calling the headshots was not as equal. So by that I'm not criticizing. That's what I experienced live, and when we review the game, we might come to a different conclusion and just see that we were totally wrong most of the time, and then we have to go and rectify it.
And Rassie, would you say that this week was probably more difficult than last week, given the numerical disadvantage that you had, making a lot of plans?
Yeah, this is a brilliant Italy team, Italian team. Me and their coach is good friends. He was just in our change room. I know how good they are. I know how tough they are. They beat Australia last week. They drew France last year. They had one of their best seasons last year. Today is probably the best full-strength team. And for us this win is big. And not because the changes we made this week is because the travel that we had, we finished at 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock at night, got up 4 o'clock and had to go by flight and train and get here. And then the same as them, we played Australia the previous week. So the reason why we picked 11 changes was because we wanted to have a fresh team that can try and match their energy, and they had lots of energy. So yes, it's tough. They also got a yellow card. They got a red-yellow card, which is, I thought, probably the right call. So, yeah, losing 2-5 locks in 2 games for not going lower than they can low, it's tough to understand. And I'm not saying anybody's wrong by that, but we don't know how to coach guys more different to go lower. We are really a bit in a fix for a 2-meter guy and a 2.06-meter guy to go lower than a guy on his knee. So it's tough. And to play with 13 men, they also were 14. Yes, it was difficult. I thought tougher than last week.
A question for both of you. It was a master class in writing the story. I mean, there were many incidents on the field, and you seem to be able to adapt perfectly. Is that right?
It's right, but I feel it's unfair on individuals like him, like Ben Jason Dixon, getting his chance for the first time in a long time, and then he had to be subbed for Siya, last week off, this week again 55 minutes. So making plans. The whole Eben was in there, you know, Peter Steff was in there halftime. Everybody was making plans how to win the game. But we're a very proud team in the way we do level change and try and avoid head contact, and we've received just so many red cards. Pimpri 6 weeks, Jasper 6 weeks, and we're really trying hard, because it's not just those guys who suffer in the game who suffer. I mean, we beat Italy with 14 men. For them it's our embarrassment, you know. But we know they're a good team. Even if we were 15, we're going to start on the struggle. When I say embarrassment, it's we beat them with 14 men. But they also had 14 at one stage. So it's more what happens from those decisions, you know. And for the referee, he doesn't have slow motions and all the things that happens there. He trusts very much in the team. I think it was 2 French TMOs, the TMO and the 1 AR. I'm not 100% sure. I think so.
But you got a better out of that.
Yeah, we did get the better, but individuals suffer for big moments and things that they can celebrate, and that makes us tighter as a team and makes us more desperate. But it doesn't take the hurt away from. So yes, we're glad that we could overcome that. But I'm sad for Ben Jason and for him, because they are also guys who lay at the end, have to take the brunt for what somebody else did by accident wrong, which then get a red card. So we're happy with the character, but I'm sad for the guys who cost the brunt.
Thank you.
Question for Siya. Siya, congratulations on the win. It's 2 weeks in a row with 14 men. When those decisions are made, and they've happened pretty early in the game, what's the thinking that you're going through as captain? And you know, it seems like the team is never flustered. It seems like you guys know exactly what to do. At many points, it doesn't feel like you are down by a man. So I'm intrigued to find out what your thinking is, what the players are talking about, and how you manage that difficulty.
No, I mean, we went through it last weekend, and this week again, we're going through the same thing. So we make plans in the game as we go, because we know things happen. I mean, the biggest thing that we've been asked this week is to show our South Africanness, and that's making plans along the way, and there's always stumbles along the way, and that's what I'm grateful for with our coaching staff. You know, they always prepare for any scenario, and the way the guys they buy in, and the guys that are not playing, when then it happens, they're sitting making plans, and they come into Coach Rassie, and they come and make decisions, but it doesn't make it easy on us. You know, I know we can talk about like sacrificing for the team. It's not easy. It's not easy to, you know, for a guy like Soso sitting there, we can see the hurt in his eyes, you know. And but yeah, I really love the way this team is just able to stand up and fight. And we always say, like, whatever happens in those 4 lines, we can still go as hard as we can and can control what we can control there.
Question for Siya. So